Some places feel wrong, places where the air seems heavier and every creak or whisper makes your skin crawl. In these places, darkness isn't just the absence of light. It feels woven into the very walls, as if the building itself remembers every secret and every sin. The Congelier House in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is one of those infamous places. Over the years, it earned the chilling nickname, the House the Devil Built, a title whispered by locals and ghost hunters alike. For more than a century, this house was called the most haunted house in America, a reputation that drew curious visitors and terrified neighbors. This wasn't just a house with a few bumps in the night. It was rumored to be a gateway to evil, a place where the line between this world and the next was dangerously thin. Stories of murder, madness, and unspeakable experiments surrounded it. People reported seeing ghostly apparitions drifting through the halls, hearing disembodied screams echoing at midnight, and feeling a suffocating energy that pressed in from all sides. The legend only grew with time. Each new tale, each whispered rumor, added another layer to its sinister reputation, making the house a magnet for thrill seekers and skeptics alike. The address, 1129 Ridge Avenue, became synonymous with fear, a place people avoided after dark, and a name that sent chills down the spine of anyone who heard it. Its windows stared out like hollow eyes, watching the world as the house slowly decayed. Yet, as the building crumbled, the stories only grew stronger, refusing to die. They spoke of a darkness so profound it could drive people to madness or even death, a force that seemed to linger long after the last resident had fled. Our mission is clear: to uncover the truth behind the legend, to separate fact from folklore, and to discover what really happened within those haunted walls. The Congelier House is a tangled web of historical accounts, eyewitness testimonies, and chilling rumors, each piece adding to the mystery. We must unravel this web, following every thread, to truly understand what happened at 1129 Ridge Avenue, and why its story still haunts America to this day. The legend begins in the 1870s with Charles Congelier, his wife Lyda, and their maid Essie. They lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at a time when the city was booming with industry and wealth, and their home reflected that prosperity. On the surface, they appeared to be a model family, residing in a grand Victorian mansion that stood as a symbol of success and respectability. Neighbors admired their stately home, unaware of the secrets festering inside. But beneath the polished veneer, darkness brewed. Lyda discovered Charles's affair with Essie, and rage consumed her, shattering the illusion of domestic bliss. The story goes that, in a fit of uncontrollable jealousy, Lyda killed Essie with a meat cleaver. Overcome by madness, she then turned on Charles, ending his life in a violent frenzy. When authorities arrived, they found Lyda sitting eerily in a rocking chair, humming a lullaby to Essie's severed head, lost in a world of her own making. The scene was so disturbing that it haunted even the most seasoned investigators. This gruesome event is said to have cursed the property, opening a door to darkness that would never fully close. The house became a place where tragedy lingered, infecting every room. Paranormal investigators call it a residual haunting, the intense energy of the murder-suicide imprinted on the house, replaying the horror like a broken record for decades to come. Later, visitors reported chilling experiences, hearing the sounds of a struggle, desperate screams echoing through the halls, and the haunting melody of Lyda's lullaby drifting in the night. The tragedy quickly became the cornerstone of the Congelier House legend, whispered about in Pittsburgh for generations, fueling tales of terror and mystery. The violence and despair were said to be trapped within the walls, seeping into the very foundation of the house, making it impossible for peace to return. For many, the horror wasn't just a story, It was a ghostly echo that replayed endlessly, a chilling reminder of the darkness that once consumed the Congelier family. A home turned into a slaughterhouse, forever haunted by its past, its legacy of violence and sorrow echoing through the empty halls to this day. After the Congelier tragedy, the house sat empty for years, avoided by locals. Eventually, it was converted into apartments for railroad and mill workers. These tough men soon discovered the house was not empty. Tenants reported footsteps, doors slamming, and a woman's humming. Apparitions appeared. A woman in a rocking chair, a terrified man wandering the halls. Objects moved on their own, and a cold spot never warmed. Many workers fled after only a few nights, unable to endure the constant activity. The house's reputation as the most haunted in Pittsburgh only grew. The whispers in the walls were growing louder, and the next chapter was about to begin. In the early 1900s, Dr. Adolf Brunrichter entered the legend, a scientist obsessed with the paranormal and the unknown. He was a man whose curiosity bordered on madness, driven by a relentless desire to pierce the veil between life and death. He saw the house not as a home, but as a perfect laboratory for his twisted experiments. Brunrichter filled its rooms with bizarre scientific devices, glass beakers, and humming electrical contraptions, transforming the old mansion into a place of shadowy rituals and forbidden science. Whispers spread through the city, rumors that Brunrichter lured vagrants and the desperate into his lair, using them as unwilling subjects. His goal, it was said, was to sever souls from bodies, to unlock the secrets of the afterlife through horrific means. In 1901, the neighborhood was shaken by a piercing scream and the unmistakable sound of glass shattering in the dead of night. Fear gripped the community as lights flickered in the haunted house. When police arrived, they found Brunrichter vanished without a trace. His laboratory was in ruins, glass and equipment smashed, and the basement revealed a grisly scene, decapitated bodies, evidence of his gruesome work. The house itself seemed to have absorbed his madness, its walls now stained with a new and unspeakable evil. The air was thick with dread, as if the building itself mourned what had happened within. The darkness that had always lingered in the house found a new vessel in Dr. Brunrichter, amplifying his obsessions and driving him to the brink of insanity. The legend of the house the devil built was now cemented in blood, its floors and walls bearing silent witness to the horrors that had unfolded. The house was no longer just haunted by the memory of a tragic family. It had become a site of deranged science, a place where lost souls and failed experiments lingered in the shadows. With every new atrocity, the evil within the house seemed to grow stronger, feeding on fear and tragedy, its reputation spreading far beyond the city. The community recoiled in horror, and the legend only deepened. People whispered about the house in hushed tones, warning children to stay away. The house's reputation as a magnet for darkness was now unshakable, its shadow looming over the neighborhood for generations to come. The story of Brunrichter became one of the most chilling and unforgettable chapters in the house's long, haunted history, a tale that would haunt the city for decades. Brunrichter's disappearance and the grisly discovery left Pittsburgh in shock. The house was sealed, its reputation darker than ever. Years later, a man arrested in New York confessed to being Dr. Brunrichter. He claimed the house itself spoke to him, commanding his crimes. He called himself the Pittsburgh Spook Man, insisting he was a servant of a demonic entity within the walls. Authorities dismissed his story as insanity, but his confession added a new layer to the legend. The idea that the house was not just haunted, but possessed, was terrifying. Whether true or not, his words gave a voice to the evil people sensed. The legend of the Congelier house grew, now including the possibility of a sentient, malevolent force. The house's mythos became more than just ghosts. It was now a living nightmare. The Pittsburgh spookman's confession ensured the legend would never die. The Congelier house's reputation attracted famous visitors. Psychic Julia Murray reportedly held a séance in the 1920s, overwhelmed by a chaotic vortex of spirits. She emerged shaken, calling it a gateway to hell. Even Thomas Edison, fascinated by the afterlife, allegedly visited to test his spirit phone. Some say he abandoned the project after what he experienced. The involvement of such figures gave the legend new credibility. The house was now validated by both spiritualists and scientists. By the late 1920s, the house was abandoned and decaying. The Equitable Gas Company bought the land, sending workers John Herman and Mike Flannery to inspect it. Inside, they felt an oppressive presence. Strange noises, footsteps, whispers. Then, a shadowy figure appeared at the top of the stairs, radiating hatred. Paralyzed with fear, the men fled and refused to return. Their terror was real, even if their story was doubted. The house had claimed more victims, not with violence, but with pure fear. The legend was now cemented in the city's collective memory. The house's final act was yet to come. The city braced for what would happen next. The evil within seemed unwilling to let go. The stage was set for the house's destruction. Soon after, a massive explosion destroyed the Congelier house. Officially, it was a gas leak, but locals believed the house destroyed itself. The evil entity, angered by the intrusion, unleashed its power one last time. The explosion ended the house's reign of terror in a fiery blast. A massive gas holder was built on the site, but the legend persisted. Workers reported strange feelings and malfunctions near the tank. The gas holder became known as the Big Blue Demon. Even after it was dismantled, the land was considered cursed. Today, a highway runs over the spot, but the story lingers. The physical house is gone, but its legend endures. The ground itself is haunted by memory. For decades, the Congelier house legend was accepted as fact. But historical research reveals a different story. No records of Charles Congelier, no murder-suicide, no Dr. Brunrichter, no police reports. The psychic and Edison visits are unsubstantiated. Even the explosion was unrelated, a real tragedy, but not at Ridge Avenue. The house was quietly demolished for the gas holder. The legend wove real events into a spectacular narrative. The truth is far less dramatic, but just as fascinating. The Congelier house became a masterpiece of American folklore. The real 1129 Ridge Avenue was a beautiful home, owned by Charles Congelier, a respected citizen, not a murderer. No tragedy, no madness, just a family who moved away. The house's only notable resident was Aleister Crowley, the infamous occultist. His brief presence may have sparked rumors that grew into legend. The detailed story likely originated with writer Troy Taylor, who wove fragments of rumor into a chilling narrative. Others added embellishments over time, making the legend more dramatic. The Congelier house story is not history, but a brilliant piece of fiction. It's a testament to the power of storytelling. Sometimes a good ghost story is all it takes to haunt a city. The Congelier house wasn't truly haunted, but its legend endures. It reflects our fears, our fascination with the unknown, and our need to explain the unexplainable. The story resonated in a city of industry and upheaval, becoming a vessel for collective anxieties. Even proven false, the legend is unforgettable. A tragic family, a mad scientist, a malevolent entity. The power of belief and shared fear can create energy all its own. For over a century, people believed 1129 Ridge Avenue was a gateway to hell, and in a way, that belief made it so. The legend became a psychic imprint on the location. Even as cars rush over the highway above, the story lingers. Some legends are too powerful to die. The Devil's House will always haunt Pittsburgh's imagination.